Good morning, students. Our today's topic in the subject of Pure Mathematics 3 is complex number. So first, there are some concepts. So concentrate yourself. Z is called a complex number if Z is equal to x plus iota y, where x belongs to real number, is the real part of Z. So this is called real part of Z, also denoted by real Z. And this y belongs to real number, is the imaginary part of Z, also denoted by imaginary Z. Okay, the next thing which you have to understand and remember, here this small I is called iota, and here are its spelling: IOTA, iota. Iota's value is -1 square root, and if we take the square of both sides, you can see iota square will be equal to -1. Likewise, another important concept is iota and minus iota are reciprocal of each other. So look now, if we are given 1 over iota, if we multiply numerator and denominator by iota, so in numerator will be iota and in denominator will be iota square. Iota square, you know, is -1. So it will be minus iota. So look now, 1 over iota will be equal to minus iota. Likewise, iota will be equal to 1 over minus iota. So this is important concept. Next thing that we are going to read in complex number is addition and subtraction of two complex numbers. So let's suppose if there are two numbers, z1 is x1 plus y1 iota and z2 is x2 plus y2 iota, and if we have to add them, so look now, z1 plus z2, so right side will also be added, so x1 plus iota y1 plus x2 plus iota y2. So real parts will be added like this: x1 plus x2 plus real imaginary parts will be added. So look now, y1 plus y2, and iota will be taken as common. So this will be the method for addition. And if we are required to subtract them, so z1 minus z2, so z1 is x1 plus iota y1 minus x2 plus iota y2. So z1 minus z2. Okay, now open the bracket. So x1 plus iota y1 minus x2 minus iota y2. So real parts will be collected like this: x1 minus x2 plus y1 minus y2, and iota will be taken as common. So this will be the method. So now we are going to solve a question from this category. So suppose here is a question that is z1 is equal to 3 plus 2 iota and z2 is 1 minus iota, and requirement is find z1 plus z2 and second part is z1 minus z2. So this is the requirement. So you can see from the concepts, the real parts will be added and imaginary parts will be added. Likewise, real parts will be subtracted and imaginary parts will be subtracted. So look now, solution. First part, z1 plus z2. So look now, this is real parts. So 3 plus 1 plus imaginary parts will be added. Here is imaginary part minus 1 and here is 2. So 2 minus 1. And this iota will be taken as common. So 4 plus iota is the answer. Likewise, second part, z1 minus z2. So real parts will be subtracted, 3 minus 1 plus imaginary parts will be subtracted. So be careful, will be subtracted. So 2 minus minus 1. So that will make plus. And iota is common. So 2 plus 3 iota is the answer. The next thing that we are going to read in complex number is the multiplication of the complex numbers. So suppose one complex number is z1 is equal to 3 plus 2 iota and second complex number is z2 is equal to 1 minus iota and requirement is find z1 into z2. So listen carefully. Simple rules of algebra that you have studied in your junior classes will be applied. So z1 into z2 is required. So it means two numbers are going to be multiplied. So 3 plus 2 iota into 1 minus iota. So these two complex numbers are going to be multiplied with each other. So first we will take first member of the first bracket and we will multiply it one by one with these members of the second bracket. So 3 into 1, 3. 3 into minus iota will be 3 iota. Now this member is going to be multiplied. So 2 iota into 1 plus 2 iota plus minus minus and 2 iota square. So we have multiplied them, these two brackets, by applying the simple rules of algebra. So in the next step you can see, so this 3, so from here plus 2 minus 3 will be put in the bracket and iota will be taken as common, and from here you can see minus 2 is as it is and iota square is minus 1. So in the next step you may see minus minus plus, so 2 ones are 2, so plus 2. So plus 2 and plus 3 will be plus 5 and 2 minus 3 minus iota minus 1. So minus 1 into iota will be minus iota. So this is the answer. The next thing that we are going to read in the complex number is conjugate. So conjugate of complex number. So concentrate, conjugate of z x plus iota y is represented by z bar. So conjugate is represented by the bar over the complex number and will be equal to x minus iota y. So remember, only the sign of the imaginary part will be reversed, will be changed. If there is positive sign in the conjugate, it will become minus sign, and if in the original complex number it is minus sign, so the sign of the imaginary part will be minus. So the thing is, only the sign of the imaginary part will be changed to get the conjugate. For example, here is a question. Z1 is equal to 3 plus 2 iota and Z2 is 1 minus iota. And the requirement is find their conjugates, means Z1 bar and Z2 bar. So look here, the conjugate of Z1 will be only change the sign of the imaginary part. So that will be 3 minus 2 iota. Likewise, to get the conjugate of Z2, we will change the sign of the imaginary part. So it will become 1 plus iota. So this is the method to get the conjugate of any complex number. The next thing that we are going to read in the complex number is modulus of complex number. So concentrate. Suppose our complex number is given x plus iota y, then the modulus of complex number z will be represented by putting bars, and that will be equal to the sum of the real and imaginary part with a square root over them. So this is the formula for finding the modulus of any complex number, that is putting bar around the complex number, and formula will be the square of the sum of their real and imaginary part and putting a square root over it. So now suppose here is a question. Z1 is equal to 3 plus 2 iota, and if we are required to find the modulus of this complex number, so that will be equal to 3 square. So square of the real part plus square of the imaginary part, square root over it. So that will be equal to 9 plus 4, 13 square root. And other complex number is here, that is Z2. For example, 1 minus iota is the complex number now, and again the modulus can be find out by squaring the real part plus squaring the imaginary part, because imaginary part is -1. So squaring the real part plus squaring the imaginary part and a square root over it. So 1 plus 1 will be 2 square root. So this is the method to find the modulus of any complex number. The next thing that we are going to read in the complex number is division of complex numbers. So suppose if we are given two complex number, Z1 is 3 plus 2 iota and Z2 is 1 minus iota. And suppose if we are required to find the Z1 over Z2, so if suppose this is the requirement, so concentrate now. The method will be Z1 over Z2 is the requirement. So first put the values. So 3 plus 2 iota over 1 minus iota. So the method will be just change the sign of the imaginary part in the denominator and multiply and divide the value with the original one. So look now, we have changed the sign of the imaginary part of the denominator, and that value is multiplied and divided with the original value to cancel the effect. So look now, this 3 plus 2 iota will be multiplied by this one. So 3 plus 2 iota into 1 plus iota, and in the denominator it will be 1 because a plus b into a minus b formula is there. So that is equal to a square minus b square. So now open the brackets in the numerator. This 3 will be multiplied one by one with the members of the second bracket. So 3 plus 3 iota, and then the second member will be multiplied. So plus 2 iota and plus 2 iota square. And in the denominator you will have 1 square is 1, minus sign is there, and iota square is equal to minus 1. So in the next step is this iota square will be minus 1. So minus 1 into plus 2 will be minus 2. So 3 minus 2 will be 1. And iota will be taken as common. So 3 plus 2 will be 5 iota. And in the denominator, minus minus plus. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is the answer. So this will be the method that will be followed to solve the division question. Listen again. Whatever the thing that is required, first the values will be applied, then change the sign of the imaginary part and multiply and divide with the value, with the original one, to cancel the effect. So look now, here was minus iota. So we have changed the sign, that is plus iota now. So 1 plus iota is multiplied and divided with this one. And after solving this, this is the answer.